Hello, everybody. I'm doing another tier list today. This time, we are doing Dead by Daylight Survivors. There's no really any rhyme or reason for the placements here. These are just what I think of each character, and a little bit of background on why I put each character in every spot that I do. Starting with that, we're going to go ahead and place Dwight right into B tier. Dwight is your first introduction to the game. You probably immediately played the tutorial, you saw Dwight, you probably played Dwight in your first match. Dwight is he's a great character, he has really cool customizations, and I think he's just overall, he's your solid above average first player that you played in the game. Meg is going to go right behind Dwight, for those very same reasons. She's one of the first few that you see. I think she is really good character design, but I think whenever they started off very early, they played it pretty safe with their characters and whatnot. Meg is iconic, but I think Meg is also a B tier. Claudette, like the other two, she's one of the first that you saw. She is another one that I think is very solidly done. Really good lore, really good lore. Really good perks too whenever you first start out. And overall, the only reason we're going to put Claudette in B is because kind of the whole stereotype thing. You see a Claudette in a match, they're either going to be looping the killer or they're going to be self-carrying in a corner. And I think it's just kind of fun to keep that stereotype alive and to keep their MB for that. Jake was the first character I saw that looked really unique to me. And for that reason, I'm putting him in A. I think Jake has really good lore. I think he also has really good outfits. And overall, I can't say anything bad about Jake. He seems to be, I would say that he is a great character. Nia goes into the Nia tier. Nia is, I don't have much to say about Nia. I just know that I personally do not like Nia. That's all that I can say about that. Lori goes straight into A. And the reason for that being, Lori was done so well how they put her into the game. Lori's design is awesome. I think if Lori could have more customization, she would be even better. But I can't justify putting Lori in anything lower than A tier. Ace is another one, goes right into B tier. I think really, really good design. Cool premise, being your gambler character. And I think that overall, just a really good character design. Very, very mediocre perks, though, which I think makes it a bit harder to justify putting up any higher. And also, I think lore-wise, he's kind of sleazy, so I feel like B tier is a pretty good placement for him. Bill is actually going to be our very first C tier character. Reason being, Bill is just a character that I don't play a lot. I don't think there's anything really, really bad about him, but I don't think there's anything super unique about him. He suffers from the curse of a pretty, I think, kind of boring design, and also doesn't have many custom skins or anything like that that really boost him over that level and make him anything more than average. Fung is my main. So, 100% she's going into S tier. I love her outfits. She probably gets more love than most survivors when it comes to her outfits. And I'm not going to complain because, once again, I main her. I love to see it. So yeah, absolutely S tier. Not really much more I have to say about that. David is going right into A tier. David is one of those when you look at the roster, whenever you're first deciding who should I try to play, I feel like a lot of people kind of gravitate towards David. He's more of your rough and tumble character. I think his look displays that very well, and I think his perks also mirror that. They kind of show, this is a tough character, this is a cool guy, and I think he's just a lot of people's initial pick that they want to play in the game. Quentin also goes into A tier. Quentin, much like Lori, they did a great job bringing Quentin into the game. Now, whenever Quentin first came into the game, of course, there was the whole goblin face thing, which I personally think was really funny. I think that as the game has gone on, they've made him look much better, a great model update. The only reason that I don't put Quentin into S is I would love to have seen more customization, more outfits, but like Lori, we are probably never going to get that. And that's okay. Quentin is still deserving of A tier. Detective Tapp is another one that I'm going to put into A tier. I think Tapp is another one that they did really well. You know, they brought him straight in from Saw. They even de-aged him a little bit, which I thought was cool. Tapp is one that is more so an A because I just play a lot of Tapp. If I was going to say like based off of like regular characters on and everything, he probably goes into B tier. But once again, it's my own kind of personal list, and I play a lot of Tapp, so Tapp is going into A. Kate's going to go into B tier. So I know there are a lot of Kate mains out there, and I apologize for putting her down into B, but Kate is just a character that I don't play a lot, and Kate's another one of those that whenever you see a Kate in a match, you know that they are either just like, they're god tier Kate, or they are very, very brand new baby Survivor Kate, and you're probably not going to see them in that match for very long before they're out. I'm sorry, Kate, but I'm going to have to put you in B tier. Adam is going straight into S tier. Adam is another one of those that I picked up and immediately started to main. Adam is just a great character. I think they did really good on his design. I think his lore is phenomenal. And I think seeing a perk like Deliverance show up was just really, really cool. And I think that kind of put him in that deserving spot of a tier like S. I have nothing negative to say about Adam. Jeff is our next C tier. And I feel like I already have a few like laser dot sights on me now for saying this. But Jeff is another one that I think is a really well done character. But in my opinion, even with like pretty good lore and everything, his Survivor design to me seems average at best. And I apologize to you Jeff mains out there. He's also a very loud Survivor, so that can also make it hard to justify playing as Jeff. Jane is also going into C tier. So Jane is one of those that I've never really vibed with. I don't play as Jane. I don't know a lot of people that do play as Jane. I know that Jane has a very loyal following, and I know that there are a lot of, I'm going to say, very, very thirsty players that play as Jane. You know who you are. And yeah, for that reason, Jane is going to go into C tier. Ash is also going to go into C tier. I think that Ash had... It's really hard to explain why Ash is in C. But I feel like bringing in Evil Dead was really, really cool. But Ash himself seems kind of basic in the way that he is presented in the game. He only has one skin that I actually really like, and that's where he has the puppet for his arm instead. Other than that, there's nothing really that impresses me about him. His average look isn't really great, in my opinion, so I would say he is just average. Go ahead and do this as a two-parter. Nancy and Steve are both going into A. Just seeing Stranger Things return to Dead by Daylight was already amazing. I think it was so hype. Everyone was excited for this move. And these characters are beloved. So, like, people, whenever they see a Steve or a Nancy in a match, they get absolutely hype. They are absolutely A tier. Yui is an S tier. Yui was epic character design, epic perks, great lore, some of the best outfits, in my opinion, in the entire game. There is no tier lower that she could possibly go into. 100% she is S tier. Zarina is A tier. Zarina is another one that has really good lore. She has solid outfits, a great Survivor design to begin with, and once again, Zarina is a great character. Cheryl is S tier. If you love Silent Hill, you love Cheryl. Cheryl's lore even almost puts her as the counter for the entity. Cheryl has great outfits. She has great other characters that she goes into through her outfits. Her perks are really cool. You can't have Cheryl in anything below S tier. It would be criminal. Felix, though, is going to go into C tier. So Felix is one of those that I think he has great lore, but very, very average Survivor design. he doesn't have anything that like makes him unique in my opinion as like a character design. And I don't know if I'll get flamed for that or not, but that's how I feel about Felix. Elodie, though, I think goes a solid A. Elodie is another one that her lore is very, very similar to Felix, is parallel. They both kind of go with one another in the lore. But I feel like she was designed better. She has more unique outfits, and overall, I think just better design. Yunjin, I'm going to put at the top of B tier. So Yunjin is another one that I think has great outfits, and I'm not sure why I put Yoon into B. There's just something about her that I think keeps her from going straight into that great category. I also think that whenever I see a Yunjin in a match, this is probably just me, but I feel like Yoons play very, very selfishly. So, like, I know that if I have a Yoon in a match and it's down to her and I, they're probably already hiding and just waiting for Hatch. Which, that's another one. I'm kind of basing this one off the stereotypes, but yeah, that's where I'm going to put Yoonjin at. I'm going to put Jill right in front of Dwight. So, Jill is our first of our Resident Evil survivors, and I think the reason why I put Jill kind of so low is I don't know exactly what it is. I love the Resident Evil games. Something about Jill and Dead by Daylight, something about that crossover, it didn't seem like it was done well enough for me. I think Jill is a very, very solid character. I think she's above average character design. I think her perks are also really cool. But I can't put her above B tier. Leon is another one that's going right behind Jill. Leon, I think he is a case of main characteritis. You see Leon too much. I think that everyone likes Leon. He's well received. But in Dead by Daylight, he doesn't look to be above average. Well, he doesn't look to be anything great. He's above average as a character design, and I think he is well liked. There are several people that play Leon, but for me, I'm going to have to put him in B tier. Mikaela is going to hop straight into A tier. Mikaela brought a lot of things with her, including boon perks, and I think kind of like being a pioneer for that alone and having a really cool character, kind of the witchy-esque vibes, I feel like it's great for the character. She's just not a character that I main, so like she is going straight into A tier, very, very solid, just overall epic character design. I think that Mikaela was a wonderful pioneer for the game. Jonah is going to go right behind Feng. So this one's probably kind of a bit of a wild pick for a lot of people. But Jonah is actually my second main that I play in the game. Jonah is a character that when I was starting out, I thought he was really cool. I liked his perks, and overall, Jonah was just a character that I kind of gravitated towards, and he became, like I said, my secondary main. It's for that reason that he goes into S tier for me. Yuichi goes right into A tier. And I think Yuichi kind of suffers from the same problem that a lot of these other survivors have. Yuichi, while being an awesome character, great lore, and being epic, he got no love on the outfit side. And it's hard whenever you have a lot of these licensings that come in. But Yuichi just doesn't have much in terms of his fits. I think he has 3 outfits total in the store right now, and I would love to see more appear for him in the future. He definitely deserves it. Please show some love for our boy Yuichi. Hattie is one of the coolest designed characters in my opinion. I think everything about her outfit, I think everything about her character design is just uniquely epic. I can't say enough positives about Hattie. Hattie is just a character. She is all the way towards the top of A tier. She's not an S because she's not a main of mine. But other than that, great character, amazing. All you Hattie mains out there, you guys are usually some of the best people to have in matches. I love you all. Absolutely. Ada, you're going into A tier. Ada felt like, I don't know what it was about Jill and Leon, but Ada seemed to transition better into the game. Ada's another one I would love to see more customization, more outfits. there's so much more I feel like they could do with Ada, especially because she seems to be such a fan favorite. She's also one of those that's great whenever you're first learning the game as well, because she's a very quiet survivor. And just, yeah, absolutely, Ada, great character. Rebecca goes into S tier for me. Rebecca is, for some reason, the character, if I'm having a really, really bad day, if I choose to play a match as Rebecca, I tend to have a great time. It doesn't matter the result in the match. I can't be upset whenever I play Dead by Daylight as Rebecca. I can't explain it, but just, yeah, Rebecca is one of those that I always turn to whenever I'm feeling sad or having a bad day, so easy S tier for me. Vittorio is going into C tier. So, allow me to explain this real quick. Vittorio just really, really disappointed me when they came out. I was so excited whenever I saw that we were getting Knight, because I kind of had this belief that we were going to be getting a very, we were going to get an old-timey character. We were going to get someone that kind of reflected that look of that time. And then they, hardcore modernized Vittorio, and I didn't get the direction that they went with there. Vittorio, I think, could have been a really cool-looking character, great design, but I feel like it's one of those where behavior kind of overshot what they were going for and just made him look very, very generic, and he doesn't feel like he's a man out of time, if that makes sense. I'm going to put Thalida all the way at the top of B. So Thalida is another one that I think they designed her very, very well. But other than that, and I think she has really good outfits, she doesn't do anything to me that seems above average. She has really good, like I said, character design. I think she has good lore, but I don't know that I would personally place her in great yet. Hanado, though, is going to go into A. And I feel like my reasoning for that is his lore seems to be even cooler. I also like his designs, and I think the thing that gave him that final push into A tier was more so of his kind of his witch doctor skin that he got whenever that event came around. That skin alone was so cool and had me playing him a whole lot that put him straight into great for me. Gabe is another one that I'm putting into C tier. Gabe, I think, was a very safe play for how they designed his character. I don't see a lot of people that play Gabe, and I don't think his outfits are the greatest. He's another one of those that I think they brought in from the future. They didn't know exactly how to design him, and it's for that reason alone, I feel like he's more on the safe side of character design. I feel like he's kind of basic, so I think he goes into the average tier. Nicolas Cage is Nicolas Cage. He's a great character, A tier. Ripley is going to go right behind Hattie. They did a great job transitioning this character into the game. I think she immediately fits the vibe of everything. She looks great. Her perks, I think, are so interesting, even if they're not the best. Because, I mean, no one can sit here and tell me that her perks are the best perks in the game. They're not that great. But she is just a great character. Therefore, A tier. Alan, I think, is going to go into C tier. So, before I go any further here, I think Alan is an awesome character. But can anyone tell me the last time they saw an Alan in a match? I don't feel like a lot of people play this character. I feel like he's very, very basically designed, and I don't see much in the way of outfits for him, and I don't think he probably will get more. If you love Alan Wake in particular, you probably play this character a lot, but other than that, I think he is an average character at best, and that's where I'm going to leave that. Sable is going to go right in front of Lori. Now that might surprise a lot of people, but Sable is just, look at every other character on this roster, and who looks like Sable? The answer is no one. Sable is uniquely her own character. She, over time, could eventually end up being one of my S tier picks, but for now, Sable is going to stay in A, Time will tell, but yeah, absolutely amazing design. Behavior knew what they were doing. She brought in invocation perks, another kind of pioneer like Michaela, and just, I think, amazing fit for the game. She brought something new that we needed. Just solid, solid, solid. Forgive me for possibly butchering this name, but Astri is another one that is going to go right into A tier. Another one of those that the D&D look is always going to impress people. It's always going to look good. Vecna looks amazing, so it makes sense that they look amazing as well. I think for them alone, though, and once again, this is probably my own bias speaking, I do like D&D quite a bit, but having a character that can just straight out whip out a loot and start rolling a die and then just performing, I think that's so funny in its own right that alone makes them such a great character. Once again, thank you all for watching this video and this tier list. If you agree with the things I said, awesome. If you guys have any of your own takes, let me know below. Who is your guys' character main? Who is your guys' least favorite character? Maybe Nia is your favorite character, and you're probably mad at me for putting her in the Nia tier. Let me know who you would put in their own tier that you just do not like. Thank you all for watching. Empty Giant out.